Hi all, this is Loz D Punch Out TV. How are you all doing on this Thursday afternoon? I just wanted to do a quick video on PEDs in the sport of boxing and fighters over the last 3 or 4, 5 years what have tested positive for PEDs and are still, in my eyes, getting away with it, getting small bans like 6-month bans, and after that are going on to still fight. So I've just written down just a couple of fighters off the top of my head who I could think of over the last few, well, say like the last 5 years, who have popped dirty. But there's probably been many other fighters who have slipped under the radar. So these are just a small list of fighters what I can think of just off the top of my head who have popped dirty, like I say, over the last 5 years. And I want to ask you to drop a comment in the comment box. Should fighters, if they pop dirty once, should they be banned automatically for life? Or should they serve, say, a 1 year or a 2 year ban? And then if they pop dirty a second time, should they be thrown out of the sport altogether? Or should they just serve small bans like 6 months, maybe a year? I'd like to hear your feedback on this to see what you think. But just going off this list, just a few of the fighters who I could think of off the top of my head. Number one, you got, well, this is not in no particular order, this is just how I've wrote it down. You've got Dillian Whyte, who's popped dirty before, apparently for something what was in a pre-workout drink. I can't remember what it was, but it was something what was a banned substance. And Dillian Whyte is still fighting today, as he's got a fight with Povetkin soon. Then he popped dirty, or he tested positive for a banned substance. What, I don't know. I've tried to find it on the internet and it's not giving any name. Maybe I'm looking in the wrong direction, but he failed an A sample and the B sample never turned up. He was given the all clear, yet the B sample was never tested. The British Boxing Board of Control gave him the right with UCAD, saying that it was a mistake or whatever. I can't remember now. It was last year, middle of last year. But anyway, he's failed twice. He didn't even serve a ban for the second time, as he was cleared by UCAD and cleared by the British Boxing Board of Control. So he's already failed once in my eyes, and the second time the B sample has disappeared. Hughie Fury, another one, popped dirty for a banned nandrolone in February of 2015. If I can remember correctly, he said it was something of what he had for take, because he's got bad acne, like spots on his back. It was something what he had taken for try and control the acne on his back, the spots. But Hughie Fury has failed a drug test before. Billy Joe Saunders, before the Demetrius Andre fight, Billy served, I think it was a 6-month ban. Said it was something in his nasal spray, what he'd had for a nasal spray. Alexander Povetkin, or Alexander Povetkin as they call him, he's failed a drug test before. Povetkin is fighting Dillian Whyte on, I think it's August the 22nd. So there's two former PEDs who have popped dirty for PEDs, performance enhancement drugs. Luis King Kong Ortiz has failed 2 drug tests. I can't remember what the first one was, but the second one was claimed it was medication for high blood pressure. but he was cleared by the WBC, as far as I was aware, and he went on to fight Deontay Wilder. Tyson Fury failed a drugs test for a banned nandrolone in 2006, was it 2016, I think, before the Klitschko fight or after the Klitschko fight. I know he was stripped of the titles anyway. So he's failed a drugs test before, and also tested positive. I was just reading before, he tested positive for cocaine as well. Canelo Alvarez, another one, failed a drugs test, but only served a small ban. Said it was contaminated meat, what he'd eaten, contaminated beef back home in Mexico. He's still fighting. And then we've got the king of all kings, the king of PEDs himself, Mr. Jarrell Fat Dusty Miller. Failed, as far as I'm aware, he's failed twice in boxing and once in kickboxing, but I have heard somebody say that he'd failed 3 drugs tests in kickboxing. Whether or not that's true or not, I don't know, but to my knowledge, he's definitely failed once in kickboxing, twice in boxing. Now this guy's the king of PEDs, because he not only did he have GW 15 and 16, which is a fat burner and performance enhancing drug, which gives you stamina, which I always wondered how someone who was 300 and odd pound could still look like they'd just in the 12th round still look like he had just started the first round and throw a volume of punches and not even look like he broke a sweat. He also failed on EPO as well, and growth hormone. So Dusty's the king of PEDs. But what I'm trying to get at is, do you think, because there's some fighters on this list here who have popped dirty before and basically have had a slap on the wrist, like Canelo Alvarez, Billy Joe Saunders, you know, fighters like that, Dillian White, they're still fighting. Povetkin, none of them have ever served a long lengthy ban. So what I'm trying to get at, do you think that Jarrell Miller, or Fat Dusty Miller as I call him, or Fat Dummy Miller, do you think that he should only serve a 6-month ban and then be able to carry on and fight, like as half of these fighters on the list have been able to do? Or do you think that he should be made an example of and thrown out the sport altogether, and then anyone else who pops dirty, like I say, should they get a 2-year ban, and if they pop dirty the second time, thrown out the sport altogether? Or do you think if fighters pop dirty once, should they be thrown out altogether at the first time? If you fail a drugs test the first time, you're not ever allowed to box again? Or do you think they should just serve a small ban, a 6-month ban, and carry on fighting? Because to be fair, if you think about it, okay, Jarrell Fat Dusty Miller has popped to like I say 3 times I know of in kickboxing and twice in boxing, but he's failed twice in less than a year, in just over a year, sorry. He's failed twice. Now, these other fighters are still fighting, so do you think that Fat Dusty should just serve a small ban, or do you think he should have the book thrown at him, and then anyone else who pops dirty after this should have the book thrown at him? It's just a little video what I was thinking of today at work. There's a few things on my mind, because some fighters just seem to get away with it, and some fighters don't seem like they can get away with it. So I'd appreciate a little bit of input back off you if you would like to drop a comment in the comment box. So that's it, just a quick video. Hope you have a great rest of your day. This is Loz D Me to you, I'm out. Peace.